What is the difference between spirit-led and man-led churches?
Spirit-led is the in thing to do in today's society. Everyone and their grandma's dog has done a service on spirit-led.
But what if what we consider to be spirit-led is actually man-led? And what if we consider to come from the Spirit actually comes from our own desires?
Today we'll be talking about that in three aspects of the church: the main service, the worship service, and the children's services.
Does my hair look good?
It looks.
Gosh.
Hi there, my name is Christopher Caleb, and I will be directing things today. And over here is our worship major, Austin Sarl.
Hey.
And in this first section, we're going to be talking about worship and what a spirit-led and a man-led worship looks like. So I'm going to be asking Austin a few questions, and I'll be joining in as well as to what he thinks a spirit-led and a man-led worship service looks like. So Austin, what does a spirit-led worship service mean to you?
I would say a spirit-led worship service is going to be more planned out than a man-made service. Like, there's going to be more, like, it's going to feel more real to the worshipers and to the people of the congregation. It's going to be more thought out and less hodgepodge together. The songs are probably going to have a similar meaning. They're going to flow together, probably go similar with the preacher's sermon for the day. It's going to have a different feel, more lively aspect, like God is present with us, versus just kind of, oh, we're doing this. It's more of a less of a concert feel, more of a worship gathering.
And that's not to say that worship services can't be fun either.
No.
Obviously, some of our family services at CCU prove that. But it's just that man-led worship services are more jumbled, and while spirit-led services are more coherent. And my personal take on it is that spirit-led services usually don't involve so much showing off, more of it being more God-centered than it is me-centered.
Yeah.
So how should a worship service affect a person?
The effect on the people, it's similar to what I said in the first question. Like, it should have a real feel. Like, it shouldn't feel fake to the people. Like, the presence of the worship leaders should draw the worshipers into a state of it feeling real and alive, and the worship should touch them in some way and, like, just take them to a whole new spot in, like, worship service.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I believe a worship service is successful when I feel loved or I feel forgiven, when I leave feeling better than when I come in. And of course, that's also on me.
Yeah,
Part of that is on me. But part of that is also on the worshipers. It's a multi-way relationship. Obviously, God has to be there, and then I have to be there, but also the worship team has to be there, and it has to be spirit-led.
Yeah.
And in a man-led worship session, you're not going to have that spirit coming down, because they're not going to be God-focused on what they're doing.
Yeah, if your heart's not in the right spot as a worship leader, it's going to show and reflect to the congregation. It's just, the whole thing's not going to come together and have that feel that it should. So definitely heart positions on both parts, but a lot to do with the worship leaders themselves as well.
How would you choose the music for the worship service?
For a spirit-led worship service, it's going to be more thought out. We're probably going to pray about it and meditate over the songs a little bit. We will see what the preacher is speaking on and go from that and get some songs that are kind of in that general line of stuff. It's like, and as well, once we pick the songs, like the song "Shout to the Lord," for example, we'd like pick a verse to talk about it and encompass the song, and maybe like in between transitions of the songs for key changes and whatnot. For that song, say we would use Psalms 100, and this is what it has to say: "Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving, in his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name, for the Lord is good, and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. And like that song is based off this passage. We would do something similar to that with other songs if we found it necessary or needed something to kind of stick in there. But for spirit-led, it would definitely be more thought out. Man-led, just kind of songs kind of stuck in there. They might flow together, might not match up with the pastor at all. We might get lucky, but definitely be more thought. And again, the real aspect and feel of it is definitely going to be in the spirit-led versus the strictly man-led service with the worship.
So through this first section, we hope that you have learned the differences between a spirit-led and a man-led service. We understand the vital role that worship plays in a service, and that's why we decided to start off with talking with this first. Do you have anything to add?
I hope you guys understand the importance behind the two and the intentionality behind spirit-led worship services and man-led worship services. Kind of just hodgepodge thrown together, not really inspired by God, or nothing's really come from that. It's just kind of, oh, this is a good idea, let's do that. And hope you guys understand the two between that and versus with what you should do, what you probably shouldn't do.
And understanding that also being too legalistic with your worship services isn't good as well. You don't want to throw something together last minute, but you also don't want to overplan a worship service either to where it's down to the very last second. You want this to be completely and totally spirit-led. And that means giving up your role in the leadership of it all also. So this ends our first section. How should a worship service affect people?
The effect that it has people gosh dang.
That's what it looks like to mess up.
I feel you.
The effect.
Could have just went right into something about speaking in tongues right there.
There we go. Speaking in tongues
just
will come.
So how should...
Hold on.
Wait. We started.
God dang it.
To a whole new spot in like worship service. Stop there.
Just stop.
Psalms 100. And this is what it has to say. Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth.